I'm your host, Big Trudy, and this is the Late Bloomer Podcast. And today we got Rachel Chantel with
Gang,
me,
gang.
checking in. And we're going to get into it, another story time. First of all, appreciate you coming to the platform.
Thank you for having me.
How your day going? How your day been?
It's been great. I've been blessed and, no complaints.
There we go. You said it's been great, it's been blessed.
Yes.
All right, first of all, what I like to ask a lot of people when they come on the platform, no matter where they're from, is give me the good, bad, and ugly about your city. So,
The good, the bad, the ugly. All right. So the good is there's so many creative people in this city that do a lot of stuff. They love networking and helping each other. The bad is, once somebody is doing better than the next, they do everything that they can because they feel like they missing their opportunity. So they might just rob, steal, or kill you to just get to that. And that's the ugly. It's like there's enough success out here. There's enough money for everybody. And when we learn that it takes all of us to build the community or to help each other get further, then we all gonna win.
for sure, for sure. So, all right, let me ask you, what part of Memphis or what part of Memphis are you from, actually?
I'm from the country. I'm from Collierville.
Cardi. That's what they consider Cardiville, the country?
When I grew up, it was not
What?
the city that people see right now.
Okay. Okay, what was it like growing up in Cardiville?
Back then, it wasn't as developed as it is now. So, like, you had your street lights. We rode our bikes. We was drinking out of the garden hose, just hanging out. Back then, where all your friends were, could walk into each other's houses, garage doors be open or whatever. And it was just more of a community. Kids was outside playing with each other and, you knew your neighbors. Your neighbors knew you. And it was a good time. Kids now, they don't have that.
Gotcha. So being raised up in Collierville, what was some of the dynamics? You had to grow up around a lot of white people, right?
I did.
And what was that like, being
Um,
raised around white people?
yeah, so I normally was the only black kid in the classroom, which was a little different. I am a black woman, so I'm built different. I'm built different from whites and Asians. I don't feel like, our beauty is better than the next. It's just we're just built different, right?
Right.
And I felt it. I was always the most curviest girl in the room, or my butt was bigger than others. And of course, like white women ain't known for their butts. You know what I'm saying? So they would make fun of me and bully me for little things like that. And I didn't know. I didn't know that that was the normal black woman's body until, of course, I got older. But growing up, they didn't care about that. I was on the dance team. I was on softball. I was very active in a lot of things that, built me into be an athletic body. But, when you just different and they feel like they could just, the kids, and I ain't gonna say all white people are bad, just like all black folks ain't good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just different.
Any pressure to fit in?
Man, you always got pressure to try to fit in. Um, I was one of the cool kids. That's one thing about me. I was always me for me, right? And so I was cool with the jocks, the cheerleaders, the gothics, I was just always cool with people because growing up throughout the system, I mean, not the system, like grading school or whatever, fifth, sixth, seventh grade, my friend groups would change because I was so involved. Like I'm a creative person, even when I was younger. My mom, she kept all my stuff from middle school, like from just the drawings that I did or the little projects that I did. And I was pretty good at that type of stuff because the schools kept my projects to show the next class coming in as an example of what our projects should look like. And so when you are a person like me that like to dip and dab to anything that got your interest, your friend group changed. So I really didn't have the peer pressure to fit in because I would always just be me.
Do people, were you judged a lot coming up off maybe the people that didn't know?
Oh yeah. So my granddaddy stayed in Westwood and Whitehaven when I was coming up, or I'll go hang out with my cousins that stayed in like South Memphis or even just in areas that was more black folks. And when I come around, the way I talk, people love to tell me I talk white. Or they tell me like when I say like, when you kids, the cool thing to do back then was cuss. So when I say cuss words and stuff, they be like, "You don't sound right, cussing and stuff." And I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to sound. I
Right.
don't get how I'm supposed to sound. I sound like me. So it's always one of those things where I end up being a kid that I was too bougie for the blacks and then I was too ghetto for the whites. So I
Right.
didn't have that. I was the misfit. I was me for me. I spent a lot of time with just me and my dog and just doing my sports and stuff. So I just really didn't fit in nowhere. But, my cousins and stuff just remind me, like, just be you. You find your people.
So let me ask you this: in saying it, right? Growing up around the whites, growing up around blacks at times, would you say would jealousy play a part in it?
I think so. I
From
think
which
so.
which which group?
I think from both because I learned how to be a chameleon. I can go in between both worlds and be okay and understand it. And not a lot of people can do that. When the movie ATL came out and Nunu was doing her whole thing,
Right.
I really resonated with that part because when Lauren London was doing it, I felt it. Like you were trying to find your culture. Like you felt like you had to be a certain way to be accepted by black people. But then again, your family and your parents have worked so hard to put you in areas to help you become something better. And I mean, they did their hard work. My folks worked really hard to be where they are. And so just trying to figure out that, I forgot your question.
The different dynamics, like, do you feel like it was jealousy from
Yes.
from which group? And you said both, from the black
Yes.
people or the white girls?
Yes. So as we got older, like now I'm talking about like 15, 16 years old, around the black people, it was just like I had better opportunities. I had my own car when I was 16, so I was always driving me and my cousins or their friends or whatever. But the jealousy for the white people that I felt from them is the attention. Because again, I'm the only black
You're
one.
able to fit in their world.
Right. And I was being accepted in their world, but I was the only black person in the room. So everybody's attention would come to me because now I'm holding the black community on my back. Because
Right.
a lot of those folks didn't have interactions with other black people.
So you was an outspoken, even though you was amongst the white people, grew up around white people, you was an outspoken young black woman.
Yeah, I always been like that. My mom would tell you she never wanted to break my spirit when I was a little kid. Like even before I started school, I was already outspoken. And she never wanted me to lose that. So she actually helped me develop that. And so that's where it comes from, me being outspoken and being strong minded. Because my mom really made sure that I stayed that way.
Well, big ups to mom. Big ups to mom. Were you a good student out there though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty smart.
Pretty
I,
smart.
I am. And it's not because I was like competing with them. I got both of my parents in my life. And that's why I say a family structure is very important because I got my dad and my mom. So understanding the balance of why you need a man and a woman in a child's life, it just makes sense, especially since I'm 30 and I understand it. So my dad always instilled in me to get my education. Like I would come home and want to watch my shows, you know what I'm saying? Like the Wayne brothers would be on or Martin or whatever was on, I wanted to watch That's So Raven. That was my show. But he'd be like, did you do your schoolwork? Because them folks on TV got their degrees. They got what they got going on. They already successful. They got money. Have you done your work?
Right.
I'd be like, dang, like let up off me. Like I want to watch my show. But I'm so happy that he put that in me because now as an adult, I make sure I get my business done. Like I'm very business oriented and I make sure, and if it wasn't for him instilling that in the back of my head, I don't think I would be as successful as I am right now.
Nice.
I know that. It ain't even think I know that. Because if I sit too long and I ain't did what I was supposed to do, it hit me in the back of my head like, nah, somebody else is already, they grinding, they taking their life serious. Like, girl, get your butt up. I know you two don't like that cussing. See how I did that?
Thanks. I appreciate it. So let me ask you this. What is it? Miss Black Tennessee, USA.
Yes.
Talk about that. Congratulations, first
Thank
of all.
you.
Congratulations. Talk about that. How did that come about? And is it something that you always been did in your life, as far as pageants?
So I don't look like what I've been through. Thank you, God. But when I was younger, I was, like I said, whatever I decided to do, my parents would support me and make sure I would go through those things. And for a while there, I wanted to be the model. I wanted to do the beauty queen, be a girly girl. And
so you was a Tyra Banks fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
But who wasn't watching America's Next Top Model? Like,
What's
come
up?
on, man. Like, they was giving
I watched
hope.
it till it got weird. I ain't gonna lie.
Facts. That
Go
was
ahead.
way. But when it first came out, like that was the things to do, you know? And that's when they had this thing called Barbizon. There was like a modeling agency that was coming around. And I did it, and I did pretty good. I got to the point of going out to California for a competition, and I came first runner up. So you know how Drake said, you just first to lose. Don't nobody want that position.
Right.
And I always want to just make sure that the next time, I ain't a sore loser. Let me tell you that right now. I'm not. But what I am going to do is take feedback and become better for the next time around. Because there's always a next time. Just make your next move your best move type stuff. So with that being said, I ended up going up to one of my judges with my mom because I just wanted to know how can I do better. Because in pageantry, they grade you and it tells you a sheet so you can get better.
Right.
And went up to her and she basically told me that the farthest that I ever go is being a video vixen. I was like 13 at the time. Don't nobody even know what that is, but that's when Superhead was really at her highest prime. I think she ended up writing that book about Snoop Dogg and all of them. So
Right.
it was like it was a thing of that time. But basically it just came down to me just being a pretty black girl that was curvier than the rest and they just ain't want to deal with it. It just came down to being black. But being 13 and hearing it and coming home and asking my brothers like what that is and knowing what it is, that really hit a self-esteem in me. It's like, dang, no matter where I go, I ain't gonna never be good enough for them to accept me in that way. And being 13 and hearing it, and I'm already getting bullied for being different in school, you know, that takes a toll on your confidence as a young woman. So as time go by, of course, I'm 30 now, and when I did this, I was 29, but I have nieces now. And my nieces, they're not as light as I am. And you know, colorism is a thing in our community. They're the same color as my brother, beautiful skin tones. And you know, black is black to me.
Right.
But she was getting bullied herself because she's going through the schooling system and just her and I talking to each other and me trying to instill into my niece that she's a beautiful woman, regardless of what people say. It's like, how can I tell you that? And I don't even believe that about myself.
Facts.
So I was on Instagram because, you know, I am a little popping on social media or whatever at the time. And this thing came across for being to do an interview for Miss Black Tennessee because they still going off of the pandemic. So they was just sending it out like digitally. Digital? I don't know. Anyway, I did it and you do this interview and I got accepted in.
Right.
And so you go through a couple of different categories. There's gown, personality. It used to be called swim, but now being body positive is fitness. And then you have interview questions, and then I forgot what the last one is, but volunteering. So your volunteering hours. So anyways, you go through all of those, and the heaviest or the most weight category is your personality, right? And so they was asking me questions about, you know, why do you want to be Miss Black Tennessee? What would you do with the title? And they asked me two questions. What would you do if you win? I was like, honestly, I don't even care if I win, because when you were going through this, they gave you a crown to put on your head, and seeing my nieces happy to see that on my head,
You already felt like you won.
I was already winning. That's what I did it for. So I was like, honestly, y'all can get this to somebody else because I already done won in my head. I'm cool. And so then they said, well, you talk about Memphis so much. What else you gonna do for the rest of the state? I said, honestly, I gotta start with ground zero. I care about my city. My city needs some positivity, and this will bring positivity to my city. To say that Miss Black Tennessee is from Memphis, Tennessee, while the rest of the state is doing whatever they doing, that's cool, because they was like, it's so much crime. But honestly, crime is everywhere. It's just Memphis is always getting highlighted for all the crime. Like Atlanta, Chicago, they probably get more crime than we do because there's more people, but they have so much other stuff going on, it just overshadows and they don't focus in on it. But our city has always been known for crime anyways, if you know the history of how Memphis started. So that's how I ended up doing it. I just did it for my niece, and I actually messed around and I won, and I was like, shucks, I'm gonna put this crown on my head. I'm gonna make it harder for next year because you're gonna have some big shoes to fill, my sister.
So let me ask you this. Winning it, what does that do for your confidence, like in a positive way, in your ego?
Honestly, I don't really ever have a big ego.
Okay.
Like that ain't even that's not even who I am. But what it did for my confidence is just reminding me that you are in control of how you see yourself. Because since I already saw myself as a queen, as a winner going through it, I just attracted it towards me. And what I know now is ain't nobody gonna love you the way you love yourself. Ain't nobody gonna treat you better than how you treat yourself. So everything that's in real life, you gotta know it for yourself. You gotta know that. I gotta know that. It don't matter if someone else is what they're saying. As long as I believe it, then that's my reality.
Thanks.
And I just hate that I spend so much time being a people's pleaser or trying to get accepted into something that it don't even matter. Like my 10-year anniversary for high school was like a few years ago. And I'm doing so much better than some of my classmates. Like, I was like, I don't even understand why did I care so much to try to get accepted by y'all? Like, this is crazy to me.
Thanks.
And now it's like, y'all want my life.
So are you over that phase or that what is it? I guess just what is it? Not feeling accepted. Are you over that? You over that stage?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm into my grown woman era now. I think that I'm really at the point of I like who I am, I love who I am, but most importantly, I know who I am.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like once you know who you are and you're confident with it and comfortable with it, because it's two different things, you're good to go. And so I think that's where I am now. Because when I talk to younger people or just people in general, I just try to always make sure that they are always being kind and respectful. Because like I said, I don't look what I've been through. I done been through a lot of stuff. And it normally comes from people just being completely mean and not thinking about their actions or just being nasty. Like it takes less, it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. Like God set it up for us to be so kind and nice
Right.
to each other. And why are we making it so hard? I don't understand it. I don't get why we intentionally want to be mean to somebody else. Did you know that just smiling at someone can save someone's life from suicide? Just smiling at them. Take it a step further and tell somebody you like their shirt. See how you light up somebody's life like that.
Right.
And so, I just always told God, like, if you ever put me in a position to affect someone else's life, I'm going to affect it to be better. Because they may not remember my name, they may not remember the conversation, but they're going to remember how I made them feel. And they're going to remember me for my orange hair. But they're going to remember how I made them feel. And I want people to remember me in a positive light. When they talk about, the girl with the orange hair, I can't remember her name, but she was so kind and so nice. She told me she liked my shirt. And that didn't take nothing but 10 seconds out of my day. Even if I'm lying about it, who cares? Say something nice to somebody for once.
Man. What would you say the most hurtful things came from your peers or adults? Or white or black? They really took a toll on your confidence and just, just the way you view things.
It would come from the adults in my life. It would come from them. But it comes from more of the negative, mean things that have happened to me. I couldn't even tell you if it was white or black, because both of them trump, depending on where I was and just my stage of life.
Right.
But it's always people that's older than me, that's wanting to try to dim my light or make me feel less than what I am, then support me. Outside of my family, I didn't really get a lot of support from people. I always got oh, you think you better than me. See, here's the thing. I'm the type of person when I get good information, because like I say, I'm around a lot of other nationalities, white, black, Asian, Indian, like everything else, Hispanics. And I see how they help each other and they build each other and they love on each other. And when I try to bring back those things that I'm learning to my community, to my people, and I'm trying to share this information, I get met with oh, you think you know everything? Who told you that? It's just, I met with so much hate and so much resistance. And I'm like, dang, I'm not telling you because you need to do it with me. I'm telling you so you can go do it with your people.
We scared to step outside the box though.
I don't understand. I don't get why we are so quick to want to hate on each other. You know what I really don't like about the black community, and I've been blessed to be able to travel the world, like been blessed to do that. And one thing that I have noticed especially about America, is we are so focused in on the skin tones, right? That's number one. But number two is blacks will find what's wrong and negative in each other first, while whites will find the good in each other first. And I don't understand that. We always go into a place immediately thinking, I gotta have my Glock on me. I'm gonna have to have this. I'm gonna have to have it because if a I don't know if you can't say the word. I'm just gonna say black. But if a black person try me, I'm gonna have to make sure I deal with them. But
Right.
when you go into a white establishment, you don't think like that. You go in acting like you got some common sense and some respect and some dignity, and you going in to make sure you have a good time. You going in to do those things. But when it comes to your actual brother that's walking the walk with you to understand what a hot cone smell like on a Sunday morning, you can't give them the respect. And I don't understand, how did we get here? How did we get here? It was so many, and I know somebody gonna be like, she out here trying to be Harriet Tubman. No, I'm not. I'm not finna say that. But let's just think about this. Like, for us to be sitting here enjoying walking into an establishment, being able to just do anything freely, because let's think about this. There's nothing that you can't go and you can't do. Yes, racism, sexism, there's a lot of systems set in place to keep us down. And I'm not saying this from my opinion, I'm saying this because of my education. That's my background. I study. I have a master's in city and regional planning. So I study how communities are created, how they're sustained, how systems are set up. Talking about the financial institution, education, family structure, health, all of it. I get it. It's purposely done to keep you there. But since you know that, what are you doing? Because that doesn't mean that you can't go out here and find a workaround. It's not that. And there was people who literally laid their lives down to allow you to have these opportunities. And we just sitting here doing what with each other? Twerking all day. Now, I ain't saying ain't nothing wrong with that. We either twerking, smoking, drinking, killing each other all day. And I don't get that. But then you say, man, ain't nobody trying to help me. Are you trying to help yourself? Because ain't nobody come to save you, nigga. I mean, ain't nobody come to save you. Ain't nobody. Like, I don't understand why you feel we have this victim mentality. And I just don't get it.